Let me also welcome another market guest today, Dilip Bhatt, Joint Managing Director of Prabhudas Lilladher, joining in as well. Mr. Bhatt, thank you so much for taking the time out today. Well, it's that time of the year when we count down to two mega events, the rail budget and the union budget on Monday. But right now, we're just counting down to the rail budget. So what are your expectations, Mr. Bhatt, this time around? What are we watching out for from the rail budget?
Well, I think one thing I must say that the railway minister is doing a very commendable job amidst all the constraints that we have at the moment. So one thing which really stands out, having said that, is that there is some kind of deficit which he needs to really bridge, because this time at least somebody will have to bite the bullet, and I think at least try to bridge this deficit, and there has to be some method by which the revenues needs to be raised further. I think that is one part which definitely everybody will be looking for. And second is, I think, what is the kind of investments which railways will be talking about to improve the infrastructure on an overall basis? Because time and again, we have all been told that railways has something like a 5x impact on the amount of the money that they spend. So I think last year around we saw that the budgetary support was slashed. So overall, they did not spend as per the expectations for whatever reasons. Probably we will need some clarity on this, that last time round he had promised that he's going to spend something. Now this time round, how is he going to execute and fulfill that? Because that will also act as a good trigger for the economy, because which really requires some amount of investment from the railways. So I think this is one portion where all of us will be looking for clarity from so many different angles, not just from the railways angle as such. And I think even the capital investment that the government is talking about, what has been the productivity improvement that we have seen over last 1 year, which is also where I think everybody would also like to know, and this is where I think we also would be closely watching, because that sets the tone for how government is going to really spend in the coming days. And of course, what is the source of funding which the government is talking about? The fund that they were talking about, which was talked about in all fanfare and probably still needs to be implemented. I think that is another point which all of us will be looking forward for.
Mr. Bhatt, we did see the Rail Minister look at various external sources of funding in the last budget. I want to understand how effective you feel some of these have been, even a look at, for instance, the public-private partnership structure. Do you think that has worked? Could we see further changes to it or modifications this time around?
Well, I think the public-private partnership has to really, they have to make it succeed, even if it has not succeeded in the past for whatever reasons, for whatever lack of clarity and whatever mess that happened after that. Because I think that public-private partnership surely is one of the biggest source of funding. But I think I'm talking about something more than that. I'm really talking about, some clarity as to what kind of fund this government is talking about to be set up, and who are the key participants, which is going to be, say, we all know some of the PSU banks or maybe LICs and the insurance companies will chip in. But whether we are going to get some big pension funds which are located, say, somewhere in Canada, somewhere in US, whether they can bring in a fair amount of funds, some of the sovereign funds, and that is where it will help give a lot of clarity.
Sure. Mr. Bhatt, that's been the other interesting bit. Everyone's been keenly awaiting the kind of math, both in terms of the union budget and even for the rail budget itself. Today, even as we speak, Bloomberg's come up with an interesting article talking about the way the requirement, yes, we all talk about the potential, but somewhere the math isn't really adding up, Mr. Bhatt. What kind of options does the government really have? How do you believe, are there some strategic measures that they can actually take to somewhere address that shortfall?
So I think I use the word biting the bullet. I think that is a very difficult decision to take, because that's where the government will really have to address the issues. If it really wants to shore up the revenue, they will have to raise the revenues by increasing the prices, which probably will not be very palatable. But I think that still remains the single biggest point. I think second point which the way the government can really shore up the revenues is because we've always been talking about selling of the excess real estate land which the railways has, and railway land is always very strategic in the terms of location also. So there's every likelihood that you can get a much better price. So some more clarity on that also will help us in the sense that it will help up to shore up the revenues and bridge the deficit that we are talking about. I think otherwise what will really happen is, you will typically still get further into that rut that any investment from the government side always suffers from a very poor ROI. And in that sense, you will also not be able to really make this particular proposition very attractive if we have to bring some international investors on the board for any kind of fund.
Mr. Bhatt, one final thought here. In terms of the way the rail sector as an investment avenue has actually been panning out, what have you been recommending clients to do when we talk about the rail sector and the entire play related to that?
Well, I think after a long time, the expectations are really not running very high as far as this particular, companies and the industries associated with this particular sector.
I rise to present
So I think
before this August